All righty. We're live out here in Cleveland, Ohio. Home of the Cleveland Barons, Brunswick Auto Mart, PHC. Versus the Cleveland Barons to kick off the weekend. PHC in the Road Blues, coming screen left to right. Barons in their home whites, coming screen right to left. There's my pal Sal. So Friday morning, team from Philly out here in Cleveland. Keys to today's game, winning both blue lines, playing aggressive, but there will be a change in speed this weekend out here. So playing the blue lines, trying to possess the puck, trying to earn that puck, and then play it back out into my favorite area of the ice, the PSA. We're going to give a loud shout out to all those listening. This shout out goes back to our friends, Sun Valley High School and Mrs. Cars. Financial algebra. If you're watching, hey, you should be listening to your teach. But it is Friday, so if you've worked hard all week, then you can watch the Boys and Girls for PHC 2015. So loud shout out to Mrs. Carr, financial algebra. I'll take one from Drake and ask where's the function? Can you guys figure it out? Where's the function? Getting the rap reference out early. We'll give another loud shout out as us hockey dads are playing hooky this morning. But for all those working parents that are in the office watching like it's March Madness with your doors closed, this one goes out to Adrian Caselli. Here you're in the office in Radnor, PA, watching. Big shout out. For the next hour and a half, I think you'll be watching hockey rather than getting any key work done. So hang with us. Horn's going to sound here. Pucks are coming in. We'll gather at the nets, and then we'll get underway. And anything you do in life, right, this goes to that financial algebra class. Hey, try hard. Play heavy. Make sure you're having some fun. Hang with us. We'll be back in about a minute and 20 seconds. And ready for live action. We're on the road today, but video brought to you by Joseph Fazio Steel. If you have your construction needs, your steel needs, one of the largest distributors, and they can customize anything you need. Stop in. Tell them Chris sent you. And for all those high school students learning math today, remember the words of Drake. Where's the function? All right, both teams gathered at their benches. Coaches giving them the last minute adjustments. We're down a coach and a player this weekend. Loud shout out goes back to them at home. Hopefully he's feeling well. Sounds like there might be some illness. So big shout out to Beast Mode. Hope you're doing well, kid. And as we get ready, big shout out to Mrs. Carr. TGIF. Hopefully they put the effort in. We got Max Roach, the team. L-Dog and Baselli with Carr and Maurer on the back end. Barons enter the zone. They play it back across the house. Played across. Williams kicks to the side. Carr will get to this in the corner. He's taken out. But Roach is there in relentless pressure, trying to push it up the wall. He's looking for that support. He's playing 1-on-2. Maurer will come in and help him, trying to move that pile. That puck is pinned along the wall. Mutrero is now in there digging. Puck quickly comes off the half wall. They step out in front. Carr gets a stick on. It's fired and kicked aside by Williams. Baselli will get to this. The money man collects. He gets above the blue line. He's going to gain that red line. He's trying to play it down, but it's picked off by the Barons. They're coming the other way. Roach picks it off. He gets into his line. Barons push it back out into the neutral zone. Roach will collect. He's going to go wide. He's now rolling up the middle. Drags past one. Gets across the line. He turns. He fires. It's gloved and held on to by the Barons keep. So we'll have an offensive zone draw. Just a minute into this one. The Barons goaltenders left. Actually, the referee is going to opt to go to the right. So we'll have an offensive zone to the right. Now we got Declan Spittle out between Johnny Gerbevec coming off that half wall. Joshua Fazio playing up front, it looks like. Michael Witten. Ethan Nunez on the back end. So Gerbevec will step to this. He pushes it down behind the Barons net. Spittle will get in on the pressure. They're going to wrap it back around their net. Gerbevec will step to this at the hash marks. He plays it back into the corner where he's met by a white sweater. Cleveland Barons will collect. They'll come out the other side with it. They play it up the wall. Chip past Winton. They get out into the neutral zone. Good back pressure by Declan Spittle. Good contained by Ethan Nunez. Nunez with the back support coming. Plays this one off the wall to himself. Gets lost in the feet. Steps out in front. Winton plays inside. It's played back out in front to the top of the house. They turn, they fire. It's sticked aside by Joshua Fazio. Sorry, Ethan Nunez in contain now. Spittle will put it up the wall where Gerbevec will collect. Gerbevec's trying to get off the wall, but he's met by a Baron. Spittle will wing it around the far side, try to come the other way. Winton calls off Fazio and then chip to the head to him. Gets out to the blue line. It's kept in by the Barons. They fire it in and hops in on Williams, who paddles to the side into the corner. Nunez will get it. He'll ring it around the wall on the far side looking for Gerbevec. He gets past him. It's kept in at the point. Gerbevec following it up. Unable to get it out in the neutral zone, but Winton fires that one 200 feet. That'll come back for a defensive zone draw on the icing call. And we will have a defensive zone draw to the left of Colton Williams. Now we got Roach between Yanutsiuk and Sauer. Maurer and Z-Man. Bauer's going to get this one on the half wall. Try to come back into his corner. He's met by a forechecker. Roach tips it forward. He's hauled down. Whistle stays in the pocket. Barons push it down into the corner. When Maurer will get it, he'll ring it around the far side. Defenseman steps to it, pushes it in. It gets out in the neutral zone, but they'll regroup going D to D. Roachy putting that forecheck on. Yanutsiuk following it up. Meets him with pressure at the red line. Chip forward. Maurer's going to go for a little skate. He's going to collect this below his dots. He'll get into the corner. He'll bring it on the other side, D to D. They turn, get their toes up. They play it. Trying to play it back up the center. Into the Barons skates. They play it back out in front. Gets all the way through. Yanutsiuk collects. He takes a look into the center. No one's there, so he's going to gain the red line. He's going to turn. He's going to fire. We'll turn up for a change. Sauer's in on the forecheck now. Roach playing above it. Gets out to the point. PHC collects. They turn. They fire. Kicked aside by the Barons winger. Roach gets to it in the corner. He plays it in the soft ice. Forcing him to play it back up the boards, but Pucciarero tries to step to it. Kept in by Nunez, but pushed down in the neutral zone where the D-man leaves it for Pacelli. Pacelli's going to come chip it off the wall looking for Pucciarero. Gets into the Baron zone. They play it back out in the neutral zone. Pacelli gloves it down. Steps across. Barons play it behind their own net. Spittle lifts a stick. He's in there. He leaves it in the corner for Pacelli. Pacelli's going to step to this one, force him back up the way, right in the Spittle's lane. Kept in at the point by Nunez. Nunez plays it down the wall to Spittle. Spittle turns, trying to find Pacelli in front. Pacelli turns, he gets it, he lifts it up and over the net, off the glass. Prime scoring opportunity. Good puck movement coming off that boards, unable to capitalize. So the Barons are coming the other way. They get through that neutral zone, but met by a back-checking Pucciarero. They'll play it in. Nunez will collect. Carr's letting him know he's got time. It's a good first pass to Pucciarero. Pucciarero steps off the wall, trying to hit Pacelli. Picked off at the top of the house, but it gets out in the neutral zone. The Barons will collect. They're going to go D to D. It's read by Declan Spittle. He'll put the pressure on and angle him through the boards. where Pucciarello will push it back forwards. Now the Barons are going to try to flip that ice and come the other way. They hit it, and they're coming the other way. Nunez in contained. They fired in. Gloved and held onto by a butterflying Colton Williams as we're caught in a change there. So we'll have a defensive zone draw to the right, Coltman Williams. All the players are actually lined up to the left of Williams, but referees are directing them, hey, we're on this side. So the face-off typically comes from the side of the last play of the puck, so that shooter was on the left side. So it's played. The puck's dropped. The Barons step through the lane. They fire it in. They play it back out in front. And a goal is scored. Hard to play east to west. And coming off the set play, the Barons chip it forward. They play it back across. And the Barons take a 1-0 lead. Our goaltender was hung out to dry there. So they'll change the D up. They'll put Maurer and Carr back on the blue line. We got Gerbevec, Roach, and Fazio up front. They chip it forward again. Maurer will step to this one. Carr tries to take a body. He loses an edge. They play it back across. Good stick by Joshua Fazio. Now he's going to try to step to himself. It's played back in. Maurer will collect this one. He's going to use his own net. We'll throw the brakes on. He'll play it back to Fazio. Fazio's going to collect. He looks to flip the ice. Hits the breezes of the Baron, but he collects it himself, trying to flip it out. Gets out into the neutral zone. Barons will collect and they'll throw it back in. This one's going to ring around the walls where Maurer will collect behind his own net. Maurer steps out. He's going to play it to Gerbevec. Gerbevec catches it on the forehand. He plays it back across looking for Roach. Roach sticks it down. Fazio will get to this one. He's going to gain the line. He's driving wide. He's met by a white stick. The Barons collect. Cut off by Roach. Roach playing from his knees, trying to keep it active. Gerbevec does his best. Now the Barons are moving through the neutral zone with numbers and speed, but Roach is back there in support. They fired in. It's gloved and held on to by Colton Williams. So Williams seeing some action early. We need to hit the reset button as he's allowing for the stop here. And hit the reset button. Try to collect and understand our zone and our coverages here. Spittle will take this defensive zone draw. The Barons win it back to the point. They'll push it deep down the wall. It'll get behind the net. Or they'll chip past Winton, trying to work it out of corner. Winton collects and recovers. He puts it around the wall for Anichuk. Anichuk's in the turn. He's going to get his toes up. He'll get off the boards and get it out into the neutral zone. Good read by PHC, but the Barons come back down the wall where Ethan Nunez will step to it. He's going to collect. He's going to put it off the end wall for Winton. Winton will collect and go back the other way. Anichuk's trying to find it on the half wall. He plays it out in the center for Spittle. Spittle chips past one. Now we got numbers coming the other way. We got Sauer and Spittle. Spittle's looking across. Plays it across. Alert goal keep by the Barons. Swallows that one up and doesn't let us stick on it. So we'll have an offensive zone draw to his right. 9 minutes left in this one in the first period. You're just tuning in. Barons up 1-0 early in this one. We got Declan Spittle with Anichuk coming off the wall. Sauer trying to create the havoc in front. Maurer and Z-Man on the back end. Referee's going 200 feet. There's 2 pucks in the net. So removing pucks. So we're squared away. Puck is dropped. We're back underway. Barons will collect it, use their own net. They play it up. Good first pass. They look to play it out into that center seam. They do. They chip it through the neutral zone. They got numbers coming the other way. Maurer's there and contain, forcing them back out to the backhand. Williams fights that off with the right pad. It's chipped up the wall where a puck battle ensues. It's kept in at the point. They turn, they fire. Z-Man's there to collect it, and he's coming the other way. He pushes it ahead to Max Anichuk, and Anichuk's going to try to collect it, but it gets lost in the referee's feet. Second effort, he pushes into the zone where Sauer will get after it. He's going to chase behind the net. They'll try to play it out. Get out in the neutral zone. Carr coming off the bench. He'll collect. He gets it to the red line. He'll play it deep. No icing. Barons will collect, and they'll come the other way with it. They're going to come out. They're looking to play it back in that center seam. They play it out. It's picked off by Roach. He's got a man south of that blue line. Good play, just unable to get on sides before we stepped back in. So it's whistled dead for that automatic offside as the puck was picked off in the neutral zone, trying to step down that lane just south of the border. So we got Roachy between the money man and L-Dog. Nunez on the back end. Roach plays at the Puchero. Puchero steps in. He gets to the circle. He fires. It hits a shin pad and gets into the far corner. Roach is going to put the pressure on. They're going to play it up the wall. It gets out into the neutral zone. Carr will support. He calls his D partner off. He's going to turn. He's going to get his toes up. Sees the pressure. Escapes back up. Gets his toes up. He plays it ahead. Looking for Puchero, but it gets out into the neutral zone. They're going to go D to D. It's read by the money man. Money man steps in. He turns. He fires. It's kicked aside. Gets his own rebound. Fires it back in. Gets wide. Barons will collect in the far corner. They're looking to play it up the wall. Hits Matt Roach's skates. Nunez collects and fires it back down the wall. Gets behind the net where the money man will pick it off on the far side. Trying to chip it forward. Gets up the wall past and they play it back out into the center. We have two men back and contain. Good back check by L-Dog. Forcing him behind the net. Barons play it up the near side. It comes off the wall. Roach tries to collect. He's met by two sweaters. Puck's bouncing around in the feet. Pacelli trying to pick a pocket. It's sticking a little bit. The Barons play it from their belly. Good play. Good stick down into the PHC zone. Into the corner. Puchero chips it off the wall. Leaves it for Roach, but he's met by a white stick in the neutral zone. Where the Barons will come 60 feet and play it off the wall. They step in. They fire it in on Williams. Rebounds there. Fought off by Williams. Roach will collect it. He's trying to stretch the ice. Hits a Baron, and Pacelli following up, gains it. He gains the blue line. He's trying to drag past. He's met by a poke check, but he gets in on this puck in the corner. But the Barons defender using the big frame of his, plays it up the wall. It's fired in by Winton and stick aside by the Barons. Barons will collect. They're going to go tape to tape. It's kept in at the near point by PHC and thrown back down behind the Barons net where they'll collect and try to come out the other way. Winton's going to collect. He walks off the wall. He turns. He fires. He gets through. Save made by the Barons goalkeeper. Puck is dropped, but back on their way. Spittle tried to put this one on net. It gets wide. The Barons will collect to put it up the wall. Spittle fighting through 1 and 2. Keeps it active. Forces the Barons back behind their own net. Where Gerberbeck and Fazio will try to get after it. Gerberbeck wins it. Puts it out in front. Looking for Spittle. It gets through. Backhanded in. Gerberbeck will come around the net. Plays it back out the near side. As Fazio went on the forehand on the far side. He didn't see him. So it gets out in the neutral zone. PHC will get back. They'll collect this one. Turn, get their toes up. Play it over to Fazio. Fazio will play it back out in the center seam, looking to stretch that ice to Gerberbeck. He fights through it, follows it up. He pokes through 1, pokes through 2. Now he's putting the pressure on inside the zone. Spittle there gets above it in support. The F2 roll. He pushes it down the wall, but the Barons get back and fight it off, and they're moving it the other way. They chip it back out into the neutral zone. Shoots from outside the dots, fired in, gets off the glove and wide of Williams' net where Mara will collect. He's going to come back around the other side. We'll play it up the wall looking for Fazio. Fazio chips past 1, leaving it for Spittle. Fought off by the Barons. They turn, they fire. And a good challenge made by Colton Williams as he was out at the top of the crease, nose to the puck. Butterfly sees it, fires on all cylinders to keep that puck out of the back of the net. So we'll have a defensive zone draw to his right. Reset, we got Sauer, Anichuk, Roachy, who collects this puck. He's going to go for a little bit of a skate. Gets out across the red. He's across the blue. He's going to drive wide. Chips it back across for Sauer. Sauer collects. He tries to put it on net. Doesn't get through the white bodies. Now we're coming the other way with it. They flip that ice as they're looking to come far side. They chip it past, and now a puck race ensues. Carr's going to get there. He's going to use his big frame. He's going to use his own net. Gets his toes up. Tries to flip it back the other way. That's going to go 200 feet, 4 and ice. Sorry. So got his toes up, tried to play that center seam, looking for him, but we were caught in a little bit of a puck watching situation there. Played too far out in front. So whistle dead for the icing. We got Roachy, Sauer, and Anichuk up front. Now we got Nunez and Winton on the back end. Roach chips it forward. He's trying to fight it off. He gets it out in the neutral zone where Sauer will put the pressure on, forcing them to the boards. They'll gain the line. They'll play it back in. Winton's going to step to this one behind his own net and try to put it out the other way. Barons read it, keep it active behind the net, but Nunez and Roach are there. They step out in front. The Barons fired in, paddled aside by Williams. Sauer will collect. plays it out into the neutral zone where the Barons will collect. They're going to go regroup this in the neutral zone. They'll play it back ahead. They'll hit the line with numbers. They play it back across into that PSA. They step through. They fire it in. And Colton Williams fights it off with the left pad and then lays out to swallow it up and hit the reset button. Keeps it out of the back of the net as he's working hard this morning, as I hope all our listeners are doing as well. Barons fire another primary opportunity in on Williams. He fights it off with the blocker side. PHC will regroup. They'll play it over to Pacelli. Pacelli's trying to get up the wall, trying to push through, fighting through. Bodies go down at the blue line. Barons come through. They step off the wall. Pucciarero plays it back forward. Kept in by the Barons. They try to drag past, but Pucciarero pokes it away. It's kept in. Pacelli's second effort plays it in the soft ice, and now it gets out into the neutral zone. Where the Barons collect, they flip that ice. They come the far side. Mara will step to this one. It's pushed back in. Pucciarero's going to step to it. He's going to get his toes up. He's going to look to go for a skate. He sees a line change happening, so he's got some ice. He takes it. He's going to drive wide. Gets down the wall, trying to find it in the corner. Barons will collect and fire it back up the wall. Met by a pinch and Billy Maurer, but they get it out into the center and chip it out in the neutral zone where PHC will collect. They're looking to regroup. They'll turn, throw it up the wall to Spittle. Spittle will collect it, play it ahead for Pucciarero. Pucciarero enters the zone. He's going to play it deep into the corner where Spittle will try to get in on that. They push it around. Pacelli's in that far corner waiting for it. He's trying to come off the wall. Plays it back across, looking for Spittle. It rolls where the Barons will collect. They'll step out into the neutral zone. They pinch, pass Carr. They come down. They get to the dots. They turn. They fire. Shoulder to side by Williams as he's working hard and he's doing his best. And then we'll get the shoulder check for the back check and Spittle. Good hockey play, but he's going to go to the box, and that's one you have to take, is you have to play defense and try to stop that rebound opportunity. So Williams fighting things off early in this one, working hard on a Friday. Keeps it 1-0, but we'll be man down for a minute 30. Defensive zone draw to the left of Mr. Williams. We got Gerbevec and Fazio up front to kill this one off with it. Wittenauer on the back end. Spittle's in the box. That's chipped in, gets wide of Williams. Fazio will collect and hit the middle seam. Gerbevec puts it out in the neutral zone where the Barons will regroup. They'll skate and enter the line. They step in. PHC trying to step up into their box. Maurer will pressure. Witten will step to it, push it up the boards. It gets enough and gets out into the neutral zone where Barons will go D to D and they come back to D. Fazio putting the forecheck on. Reading that center seam, not allowing them to flip the ice. Good read by Fazio. He gets a stick on it, plays it back in, collects it, gets out in the neutral zone. He'll turn, he'll fire it, but that's an okay stoppage as we're shorthanded and you don't want to get caught flat-footed here. So he turns the fire. Coach may have wanted them to regroup there, but we're just settling down and trying to keep the puck going towards the other end on the penalty kill. So 55 clicks. We got Fazio and Gerbevec up front. They got Nunez and Carl on the back end. The Barons will gain the line. Carr will keep him outside the dots. He'll force him down below the line. The Barons trying to play it back forward. Carr takes out a body. Gerbevec's going to collect this puck. Chip it forward for Fazio. Fazio collects. It's kept in by the Barons, but second effort by Gerbevec and Fazio working as a unit. They get it deep into the Barons zone, who tries to stretch the ice. Carr's going to step and body up. But the Barons get past it, gain control of the puck. It's stick to side by Nunez. They turn, they fire. It's fought off by Gerbevec. Good back check. Pushed up the wall where Fazio will get it. He's trying to chip past one. He chips past him, and now he's got a step. He's got one to beat. But the Barons close the gap and look to come the other way. They're going to try to stretch the ice. They play it ahead. Carr steps. He keeps. He gets some ice. He's on. He winds up. He fires, and that goes in. So he cranks the clap bomb, and he gets the far top cheese. Short-handed goal. So Carr with the PK blast. A good read. Playing aggressive at the blue line with a good forecheck, good pressure by Joshua Fazio that starts it. So good penalty kill. Ties this one up 1-1. So Rochi pushes this one forward. Sauer tries to step to it. Spittle's coming out of the box. He'll go back to the bench, and then Nucciuk jumps on to replace him. So we're back to even strength. Z-Man gets it. He's going to go D to D behind his own net or get around the wall, where Nucciuk trying to fight off a white sweater and play it back out in the center, looking for Roach. They play it back out. Roach plays it back to Nucciuk. It gets out into the neutral zone. Barons try to step to this. Now we're pushing down that wall. Barons win it, and they play it back in. Winton takes a shoulder check. He's going to gain this one in the corner. He'll throw the brakes on, and he'll come back the other way. Good step. Gets back onto his forehand. Plays it out into the center, looking for Roach. It's read by the Barons. Kept in at the point. Z-Man's there to close that gap and throw it back out into the neutral zone where Sauer will collect it. He'll put it deep, and now Nucciuk's going to get in after it. And Nucciuk's going to cut it off and force him back to Sauer. With the Barons step up, they go first pass right back out in the middle, and now they hit the neutral zone with speed, but relentless speed and back pressure by Max Roach. One of the best in North America at doing that, and now he gets his toes up. He's got some white ice. He's going to take the shot. He gets wide. He's going to drive down. He plays it back out in front, off the post, and gets back behind as the goaltender is looking out in front of him. It's kept in. Trap winds, fires in, gets through. Goaltender able to fight it off and see that one. Hangs onto it. So we're getting some good pucks to the net from the point late here in the first period. 2.6 seconds. Neutral zone face-off. Hopefully they go right to the net. Deck, put it on net! Put it on net! Right on net, kid! Right on net! Take a shot! And he tries to. Hits the shin pads and gets it in the corner. So we will head into the first intermission after the first frame. Knotted up at 0. Out here in Cleveland, Ohio. All right, we're back for second period action. We'll flip sides of the ice. Barons will be coming screen left to right. PHC will come right to left. Long changes. Offensive zone door below the blue line. So we're waiting for PHC to break from their bench. Coach Sauer working hard. He had the board out, making adjustments, showing him what he wants, pointing out, making those adjustments in game. That's what we like to see here. So we'll see if the boys can take the message and bring it out. Fight heavy, play hard, have some fun in the second frame. Spittle wins this one to Pacelli. Pacelli ties up his man. Pucciarello jumps through. He collects it, gets through the line, drives out wide, throws it in off the side of the net. It's there in front. Played out to the point. Call, will turn and walk. Tries to fire. He doesn't get good wood on it. Now Maurer will collect. He'll put it down the wall. Alertly finds Pucciarello behind the wall or behind the line. Plays it back to Pacelli. Pacelli's trying to walk off the wall with it, but Barnes collect. But he gets the pocket pick by Dylan Pacelli, and now they're coming the other way. They play it back forward. This one's going to go for an ice as it was played from the wrong side of the red line, so we'll go 200 feet for an icing. We'll have an offensive zone draw to the left of the Barons goalkeeper. Spittle to take this draw. He's got Pucciarello and Pacelli. With Winton and Nunez on the back end. Spittle puts this one back to Winton. Winton's going to collect. He's going to walk. He's going to play it to Nunez. Nunez turns. He'll play it deep behind the net. Looking for PHC. Spittle gets there, but the Barons collect. They chip it up the wall. Fought off a couple times, but they do a little give and go. Spittle back check, allowing Nunez. And bodies are flying. We're going to let that go. That looked like a Bantam hit. But Nunez gets deposited to the ice. No arm goes up, so they're letting him play this morning on Friday. Winton will collect. He'll come back. He'll play it up the wall to Pucciarello. Pucciarello will collect it, play it back down to Winton. Now Winton's going to come the other way with it. Trying to get back to his forehand, but plays it forward with his backhand. Finds Spittle leaking out into the neutral zone, but the Barons able to recover and collect. Tied up along that board, and now they collect it, and they're coming the other way. Good contained by Michael Winton. Good back pressure by Logan Pucciarero. They push him down into that soft ice behind the net where Nunez will now take over in the far corner. He's trying to play it forward. Fought off by the Barons. They play it back across and flip the ice to Pacelli. Pacelli's trying to stretch it. He tips it out in the neutral zone where the Barons cut it off, and they're coming back past. They chip past Winton, but Winton collects, trying to get back defensive side of it. It's played in. Williams will hang on. Whistle blows. There's some extracurriculars here as the kids are missing school. But don't worry. They're getting a lesson here in front of the net. So we'll have a defensive zone draw to the right of Colt Williams. Barons Z-man with Roach, Fazio, and Gerbeck. They played off the post as they work the same face-off play. They have a play where they're just going to chip forward, jump the lane, and try to get a forehand shot with their center. That one was fired in, wins the post, so Williams will give that post a hug. I digress, but PHC has it deep in the Baron zone. They keep it in. Barons are pushing it forward to get it out in the neutral zone. It's going to be collected by Z-Man. He plays it back ahead looking for Fazio. Fazio collects. Will put it down the wall where the Barons will collect it, and they're going to flip that ice and fire it back far side. Now they're hitting the neutral zone with speed. Mauer's there and contain. He'll get good angle, good recognition. Mauer will collect. Will go behind his own net with it to Fazio. Fazio chips it up the boards looking for Roach. Roach trying to step off the boards, but met by the F2 of the Barons, who is now trying to play it back out in that PSA. Good contained, good sticks by PHC. They collect it, they put it up the near wall where Gerbeck will step to this one. He's going to gain the red line. He's going to put it deep, and now Fazio's on his horse. He's trying to ride into town and get there first. But Barons will collect, will put it up the wall. It's going to be kept in by Z-Man. He turns, he fires, gets in towards the net, fought off by the Barons goalkeeper. Barons will collect it again. They're going to pro this one. Doesn't have enough legs. It'll get there. Whistle dead for the icing. We'll come back for an offensive zone draw down the other end to the left of the Barons goalkeeper. So Spittle puts his personnel where he wants it. He's pushed to the ice, but he plays it back forwards. Nuchuk fights it off, but the Barons will collect. Before we get an opportunity to throw that on net, the Barons get into the neutral zone. They're going to gain the blue line, try to walk off the wall, but they're met by the pinching Ethan Nunez, who plays it, or Spittle plays it back out in the neutral zone. And Nuchuk forces him back to the wall. They'll spin, they'll play it out into the center. Nunez will collect this one. He's going to try to chip it right back out. Kept active by the Barons. They fire it in, it gets through. Good effort. So puck is loose. It's fired back in, and Declan Spittle laying out to play second man on the goal line. Takes the net out with him. Good defensive play. So the referee, I think he lost sight of it and then blew the whistle for the net coming loose. So whistle dead. Face off one by Spittle. Z-Man will collect. He's going to put this one off the glass. Now Luciuk leaks behind. He's in the foot race to the puck. He's going to collect this. He's got Sauer coming down the middle. He's got Spittle following up. He plays it in the middle. Sauer puts it on net. Puck is loose. It's in the back of the net. So now he's getting pucks and bodies to net, winning foot races. And Luciuk immediately plays it to the screaming Sauer, who was cutting down the middle, and they stay on it, and you get pucks and bodies in the net. Some confusion caused, and the second effort puts it in the back of the net for PHC to take a 2-1 lead with 11-12 in the second period. Started with a good defensive clear off the glass. Nuchuk leaks behind the defender, wins the foot race to the puck, plays it back out to the screeching, screaming Lucas Sauer. They jump the lanes, they tie up. We're starting to understand responsibilities on these set plays and these faceoffs, but the Barons collect, they gain the line, they step it back across, they flip it 60 feet, fired wide. I guess it was 44 feet. That was dot to dot almost. Barons collect, they come off the wall. Spittle bumps him off the puck at the top of the zone, gets it back out in the neutral zone, where the Barons will collect, they'll wheel it right back down the wall. They step in, they fire it back across, stick this side by PHC. PHC uses their own net, trying to drag it up the wall. Cut off by the Barons. Played pucks out by Michael Winton. Winton now plays the head into the neutral zone. Barons will collect. They'll go D to D. Sauer forces him to the wall. They play it back out in the center where Spittle pushed it forward and jumped the lane. Now Annuccio trying to cut it off, but they push it back forward. Barons collected. They play it back in the line. It's stick down. They step through it, closing that gap. Spittle gets it out in the neutral zone, but the Barons collect, and now they hit the line, and they enter a half a stride too quick. Whistle dead for that automatic offsides. That wasn't automatic. That was just an early zone entry. So PHC will go for a full change. We got Max Roach, not Mike. Max is taking this neutral zone draw between the money man and L-Dog. Collar Maurer on the back end. So the Barons jump the lane. Maurer will step in, push it up the wall. Pucciarello gets one. He's trying to drag past him, but met by a white poke check. And now Roach comes off the wall with it, trying to play it across. Carr will step to this. He plays it back up to the wall where we didn't have the winger. And now the Barons step in. They'll play it deep into the zone. Trying to read it. We get there and contain. Roach trying to come back up the wall, looking for Pucciarello. He drags off the wall. He gets out into the center. He plays it ahead to Pacelli. Pacelli catches this on the forehand. He's going to gain the line, looking to play it back across. He's forced outside. Throws it back across. He finds Roach leaking in behind, who fires. It's blocked by a defender. Roach stays on it. Pushes it down to the corner where Pacelli will collect. Maurer goes to Carr. Carr has some time. Thought about a clock bomb, but resets. Snaps it in off a stick where Pacelli will collect. Trying to work from Gretzky's office here. Plays it off the end wall, leaves it for Roach. Roach on the forehand, trying to step out in front and push back into the corner where Pacelli will put it around the wall. Maurer will take a chance for this 50-50 puck and meets it on the half wall. Now we'll get back. They chip it ahead. So now we're going to have some back pressure. Maurer closes that gap, keeps him on the wall, forcing it back down, allowing Roach to get there. Carr's going to step for this. He plays it ahead to Pucciarello. Pucciarello collects it. He's going to get across the red, trying to drag past forward. Picked off, and now Maurer will collect it. He doesn't have a defensive partner as we're caught in a line change. So Maurer will use some extra real estate, calmly waiting for some help. We'll play it up the wall. Roach will step in. Pucciarello will step in, trying to support. Puck battle ensues. Barons trying to bulldoze through here. But Maurer comes off the wall with it. He flips it 85 feet to Pacelli. Pacelli's going to collect this one. Gets his eyes up. He's got Pucciarello ahead of him. Pacelli will gain the blue line. He's going to pull up. Drag back down. Find some time and space. He plays it out in front. It's stick to side. Doesn't get in on the goalie. Pucciarello collects. He's trying to find Winton at the point. He'll walk the line. He gets it to Winton. Winton one time fires. It's deflected by Pacelli. Good time. And now Winton will step to this puck and take it out. So, hey, it's a good play. You just got to be 14 or older. I guess 13. 14 you? Got to be 13 or older. And they do go for a head contact, so they called the misconduct for head contact. So they're going to give him the high hit. So they'll give him a minute and 30 and 8. So we'll be down a defenseman here for the rest of this period, and then 2 seconds into the third. As well, it actually the 130 has to come off the board. So we'll get the 130 as Gerbeck serving that one. Barons win this one. Back to the point, they go D to D. They set it up. Good box by PHC. Declan Spittle's going to collect this one. He's going to get to the red line. Fights through some back sticks, but pushes it in. Now Spittle will get there first. He's going to pin it along the wall, trying to kill some time. He's playing 3-on-1, but he's just going to win this as long as possible. And now the Barons collecting and looking to come the other way with speed and numbers. But we're going to push them to the outside, let them play in that soft ice. They play it back towards the net, gets wide. We'll force them back behind the net. Play back out in front. It's paddled aside by Williams, where it's collected by Spittle, who chips down in the neutral zone. Fazio trying to win it. He does. He wins the race. He's in all alone. Makes a move backhand, fires it in the back of the net. He goes forehand, backhand. That's his second shorthanded. We're working on the Wawa shorties out here in Ohio, trying to get them to expand their Wawa Hoagie Fest. But that is good effort. Good contain. We chip it out. Good outlet by Spittle, and then Fazio doing everything. All 65 pounds of him. Fights off a big defender. Gets it all alone. But he understands his core. He's a dual athlete working in the mixed martial arts. So now we're going to get an interference call on the Barons. So we'll go to 4-on-4 hockey. And we'll have an offensive zone face-off as a result of that infraction. So we got the Maxes up front. We got Max High. That's Roach. With Nooner and Carr. Second period shout out goes to a long-time listener, Jen Nooner. Thanks for listening. The Barons will collect it to push it behind their own net. We're playing 4-on-4, so we're even up. There's a lot of ice out there. The Barons will fire this one. That's going to go 200 feet for the ice. We'll reset, come back down the other end for a face-off to the Barons left. Offensive zone draw to the left of the Barons goal keep. 4-on-4. The Barons win this one to the unmarked man, and they're going to enter. Well, we'll try to get him outside. Gets a stick on him at the last second outside the dots, but the Barons will get behind the net. Carr will push us up the wall where Roach will collect. He's trying to stretch Anuncio. Anuncio collects it. He gets out into the neutral zone. Going to get across the red, looking to play it back out into the center, but he saw a white jersey, so he pushes it deep where Roach is going to get there. Looking for some support to come in. Sauer's going to come in and try to help him out. Roach gets back to the forehand. Leaves it for Sauer on the far side. Sauer's going to reverse up to himself. Gives it to Roachy. Roach is trying to chip it back to him now. Roachy comes out, looking out in front. He finds Anuncio, but it's sticked aside at the last second by the Barons. Sauer will try to get to this one, play it back out in front. It's fought off by the Barons. Barons will collect this one and try to play it back up to the center. Nunez cuts it off. Roachy will step to this one, allowing Nunez to collect. Nunez flips that ice to Sauer. Sauer catches this one. He gets across the blue. He's at the dots. He turns. He fires. It's fought off on the far pad by the Barons goalkeeper, which is oftentimes the best pass in hockey, but good rebound control. He kicked that far enough as we weren't able to get the rebound. And now the Barons gain the line. They drag past one, they drag past two. It's fought off by Williams as the last line of defense is played out in front. Williams finds it, sticks to the side, and then there's another whistle as the referee, he's losing sight of it pretty quickly here. I agree with the Cleveland fans, as that puck was not frozen. It was live. Referee lost sight, blew the whistle. So we'll take it. We'll take it. We got the defensive zone draw to Williams' left. Barons win it out in front. They go to the D. Pucciarello leaks behind. He puts through. He's in all alone. So I didn't say it. I think it was a little bit of a makeup for his early whistle. But we'll have to go back and watch film. I think both cameras were at the other end, so we'll have to go to Live Barn to watch that one. That whistle was behind the play. We don't know. But now the explanation's coming over, huddling at the PHC bench, as Pucciarello was in all alone. So Declan Spittle goes to the box. We don't know what the call is. Referees are explaining this to Coach Sauer. As L-Dog, he's had a couple opportunities this season where he's south of that blue line in all alone and the whistle comes behind the play. So either way, we're back to the man down. Defensive zone draw to the right of Colton Williams. We got L-Dog with Pacelli up front. Maurer and Z-Man. Barons win this one back. Pucciarello fights through and forces it back down the wall. PHC tries to play it out the other way, but it's cut off by the Barons. Barons step out in front. They play it out in front. It's loose. It gets to the top of the house. It turns as far as it knuckles in. Gets wide. PHC loses a stick and kicks it like a soccer player around the Pacelli. Pacelli plays it out, trying to hit a Logan Puccieri. Pucceri's got one to beat. Tries to drag past. He gets through the feet, but the back check is there. And that is hard down body check. And there's no interference. And now they're going to call the automatic offsides. Neutral zone face-off as Puccieri was dropped to his breezers. No call. So we got L-Dog and Pacelli up front. Carr and Nooner on the back end for the second half of this penalty kill. Win it out into the center. Carr alertly jumps to it, sticks to the side, forces the Barons to retreat back into their own zone. Carr will meet the body at the red line, will play it back forward. Where Puccieri was dumped and deposited to the net. Carr's interfered with a moving pick. They fire it in. Williams sees it the whole way. He'll hang on to it. So there's a couple interference calls being missed. So we'll have to reset. PHC will change their unit up. 6 games on the weekend. So we got to keep them fresh as much as possible here. We got Gerbevec and Fazio up front now. Z-Man and Maurer on the back end. Z-Man will collect this. He'll get back to his forehand. He leaves it around the wall for Gerbevec. Gerbevec chips past. Gets it out of the neutral zone where Fazio is now going to get on it. He rides his horse into town. Forces the Barons to put the brakes on them, but they flip that ice and they're coming back the other way to gain the line. Good contain. Good gap by Billy Maurer, forcing the Barons to play it in. Now they'll come up the far wall trying to set this up. They're going to go to the D. Good check. Forecheck by Gerbevec. Barons step through. They get past. They fire it in. Fall off on the outside of the net. Barons collect it, come back up the wall. They'll play it back down behind the net. They're looking to play it out in front, trying to expose. They go to the deep, far point, fired in. Williams stayed with it and hung on to this one. Slow whistle this time. But Williams stays strong, fights it off. We're back to 5-on-5. Killed that one off. So we're 5-on-5. Rochi, Fazio, Gerbevec up front. Nooner and Carr on the back end. Defensive zone draw. Barons win this one. They step through. PHC fights it off. Gets behind the net. And they'll come out the other side where Fazio collect. Chips it into the Barons bench as he was trying to catch glass and maybe find the bouncing puck in the neutral zone. But this will stay in PHC zone for another defensive zone draw to the right of Colton Williams. So by design, they're trying to push forward with the forehand center. We got to jump that lane and stay on the defensive side of it. Roach reads it, ties him up, push through. Carr trying to push it forward. Roach trying to find it. Cuts out. Carr sticks to the side. It's kicked off by Williams. Williams finds it. Puck's bouncing around. It gets up over the net. We had a lot of bodies on the ground. And the man that was left unattended able to push it in the net. Got to be heavier on that touch. Barons pull within one. That just creeped up over the head. Nothing you can do there. But we got to get pucks out. We got to be heavier on the touches there as we're starting to contain the lane. But now we got to win the puck. So Roach trying to collect this one himself. He pushes it back forward. He gets to the Gerbevec. Gerbevec will drag into the Barons zone. Gets down the wall. Gets into the corner. Uses his big frame to fight off one, but unable to fight through the second one. Barons going to break it out through the middle. They play it back across, but they play it into Fazio's path. PHC will play it back forward, but the Barons pick it off, and now they're coming the other way. They're going to gain the line. They step outside the dots. They turn, they fire. It's fought off by PHC, but it's tapping at the point. They'll play it back forward, looking for the guy in the PSA. Stick to side by Johnny G. Roach will get to this one. He pushes it up the wall to G. G's trying to flip the ice to Fazio. Finds him at the center dot. Stick to side by the Barons. Now Fazio's in a foot race to this puck. Trying to win that puck back in the center, but the Barons close on it. They put it up the wall. It's kept in by PHC. Gets behind the Barons net. Where Gerberbeck will step to it. It's pushed up the wall. Maurer will keep this one momentarily, but the Barons find it and they flip that ice out into the center. It's a one-on-one here. We got back pressure coming. Good stick by the defenseman. Pushes him out to the wall. Fazio will try to step to it. It's kicked up the wall. Barons outnumbering us. They push it back down the wall. They step off the wall with it. Roachy there to stick it aside, but it's kept in at the point. Point man will walk it back down the wall. Play back over, fired in on Williams, or paddle it aside where Roachy will try to get to it. Tips it past one. He's looking for support. Nunez will step in, or Maurer will step in, sorry. Plays it up to Gerberbeck. It's kept in at the point. They fire it. It's bouncing around. Stick aside, put back in. Williams stays on it. Kicks it aside with the right pad, or left pad. Barons collect. They're going to go back to their D. Gerberbeck gets in on it. Forces it back down the wall. Trying to come off the wall is met by Max Roach. Maurer will get there. We're going to put it up the wall. Gets out into the neutral zone where it's collected by the Barons. Fazio deposits a Baron to the backseat of his breezers, and now trying to find that puck. It's caught in the feet. It's played back in the PHC zone where we'll get a reverse, but we rush back into traffic. The Barons trying to play it back out in front of the stick, decided by PHC. Fazio bodied up, but they're letting it go as there was no play on the puck there. It's kept in at the point. It's fired out in front. Kept in at the point. D to D. They'll walk, they'll fire down the wall. They'll reverse back up. It's going to get out to the point. They play it back down into the corner. Gets behind the net. PHC will come the other way. We're just going to ring this around the wall. Gets past the pinching defenseman, and now Gerberbeck, he's got Fazio with him. He gains the line. He plays it across for Fazio on the 4-8. Fires, rebound opportunity there, and Gerberbeck puts it in the back of the net. Good puck movement, bodies to the net with their sticks down. Second, third effort as it was fought off by the Barons goalkeeper. And Fazio and Gerberbeck scoring with under a minute left here in the second frame to extend that lead back to a 4-2. So Spittle wins his forward. He's trying to gain the line. It's fought off, but Sauer followed it up. He gets that puck in, and now it's blown dead for the automatic offside. So neutral zone draw just outside the Barons line. So 40 seconds. We want to keep the puck moving towards the white goalkeep. We don't want to let anything behind us here. So Spittle takes a look, wins it wide. Carr and Spittle there. We'll get it into the Barons zone. Carr will keep it and push it deep. Barons will come around the far side with it. Good stick by Anicio. They play it up. Throws up! Coming on! Carr will use the net. Now we'll go off the glass with it. But it's fought off by the Barons. They step out front, stick this side at the last second by Carr. Spittle will collect this one. He's trying to come up the wall. The Barons walk off that wall. Step! Played back in. Gets through under the pad. And they score. As I said, we don't want to let shots in under a minute left. So the Barons do the same thing. Pucks and bodies going to the net. They score with 5 seconds left. So the Barons move back within 1. 5 seconds left off the drop. Puck is tied up. Horn will sound. Nope, clock never started. So they'll just run that clock as it never started. We'll go in. Second intermission, 4-3. Hang with us. We'll be back in third period action. So both teams gathered at their benches, getting their in-game adjustments. This is going to be a hard battle in the third period, as we expect it to be. This is where we talk about the want. You can't just want it on paper. You can't just want it in your head. You got to go out there every shift. Every shift is a mini game. Every shift is a battle. Team up. Fight for the family. As I think that's the new cheer for PHC, family. So this team's trying to pull together here. We'll see if we can fight through it here. So Rochi between L-Dog and the Money Man. Z-Man and Mousy on the back end. Williams back in to the crease to my left. Puck is dropped. Butcher jumps through the lane, gains the line, trying to drag through. Fought off by the Barons, who will move it back forward, but Roach picks it off. Pacelli will step through the lane. He'll push it forward. Barons collected their own line, chip it back out. But Roachy gets there. He's fighting for it. He's outmanned along the wall. Maurer pushes it forward. Butcher comes off the wall with it, takes a look, steps across the blue line. Dragged outside the dots. He turns and fires it in wide. Barons will collect on the far side and try to flip that ice. The play it ahead, but it's picked off by Z-Man. Now we're going to come the other way. Chipped off the boards. Pacelli will collect this one. He gets his toes up. Gains the line. Driving down into that soft ice. He's bumped off the puck. Barons collect it, and they come the other way. They get out into the neutral zone, where PHC will collect and fire it back in. No icing as we're at the red line. Rochi puts the forecheck on. It's played ahead. It's picked off by Pucciari. Turns. Drags past one. Drags past two. Trying to get back to his forehand. Throws it out in front on the back end. Puck's bouncing down. We're trying to find it. And the Barons goalkeeper finds it. Swallows it up. And we'll have an offensive zone draw to his right as a result. Rochi to take this one. He's got Pucciari coming off that wall with the shooting hand. He wins it to Pucciari, but Pucciari had jumped that lane just a little too quick. So the Barons collect, and they're moving out with numbers and speed, but good back check by Dylan Pacelli. Will take a good angle. Barons pushing in the corner where Nunez will collect. The Barons collected on the half wall, walk it down into the corner where they're met by Roach and Nunez. Barons trying to win it and come around the net. Now Carl will step to this one. He's going to turn. He's trying to put up the wall, but there was no one there, so tried to fight it off. He follows it up. He gets it ahead to Pacelli. Pacelli's got Pucciari coming with him. Pacelli's going to gain the line. So he's outside the dot. Drop to Pucciari. Pucciari tries to get it in on net. Flubs on the puck. It hits the side of the net. Pacelli's trying to find it. Barons collect. They fight it off, and they're trying to flip it back out the other way, but they play it forward off of Pucciari's skates. Forces them to go back the other way momentarily, but they push it forward, chipped into the PHC bench, so we'll have a neutral zone face-off right outside of the PHC bench, able to complete the change on this stoppage. Declan Spittle out there. Fazio and Gerberbeck. Z-Man and Mousy on the back end. Spittle trying to push this one forward. The Barons collect it, gain the line, met by Maurer, using the frame of his. Win that puck battle. Fazio sends it the other way. Is that going to have enough legs for an icing? It's going to hit the boards. It'll die just north of the blue line now, or red line, and it gets there. Barely gets there, but it did have enough legs, so it's whistled for the icing, and now we're going to come back 200 feet for a defensive zone draw to the left of Colton Williams. 12:47 left in this one. Spittle. And there's that dot. The Barons win it back, but Spittle jumps the lane, fights through it, trying to kick it out in the neutral zone. It's kept in by the Barons. They'll throw it back in. It's settled by Nunez. Allows Winton to collect it. Winton will go tape to tape to Fazio. Fazio plays it out to Spittle. Spittle drags past one. He'll chip it deep, and now Gerberbeck's going to get there. He'll pull up. Force him to wrap it up. Winton will get there. Bodies a man up. Spittle will, in support, keep it in at the point. But on second effort, Barons chip it forward, and now they have numbers coming the other way. They step in, they get inside the dots, they turn, they fire up off the crossbar, and then hits the netting. Good challenge by Colton Williams. So we'll change it up a little bit. Now we leave Gerberbeck, Fazio Spittle out there where we got caught. Mousy. They chip it back forward. They play it back across, and they do it again. That's the second time, third time off of a face-off where they have a designed play. They chip it through on the forehand and then play it east to west out in front. So we're not tying up on our man in front, and they have that design play. So that's the second time that's beat us. The Barons win the ensuing face-off. Roach trying to cut it off on the boards. The Barons come off the wall with it, trying to gain the line. Fires it in. Stick the side by Williams. Barons will collect. They'll go to the point. Cut off. They're going to play it D to D. Return to fire. Challenged. Squeezed and hung on to by Colton Williams. As we're running around a little bit. So we'll have a defensive zone draw to the right of Williams. So we got to tie up in front. So understand everyone's got to get a guy. They're trying to man up. And they'll leak behind, but fought off by Roach. He doesn't let him get through that seam. So Sauer chips it forward. He's trying to get after it. Trying to win this puck battle. Put it up the wall. It's kept in by Anuccio. Forced back up the wall. Roach trying to step off the wall, but he's met by a white sweater. They try to flip that ice and move through the neutral zone. Good back check by Anuccio. Barons played it in the PHC. Z-Man will collect it. He'll play it ahead. Gets out of the neutral zone. We'll go D to D. They play it back forward. Cut off by Roachy. Winton tries to play it forward, but fought off by the Barons and kept active. He stepped down the wall looking to play it back out in the house. Stick the side by PHC, but they collect. The Barons go to the D. They fire it in. It gets through. It's fought off by Williams, right pad. They're behind the net with it. They're looking to play it back out in the center, but they go point to point. Back down the wall. Side in. Gloved and held on to by Williams. So do a full change. Barons are going to collect this one in the corner. They're looking to play it back out in front. Sorry, I was puck watching. Gets off. It's fought off by Williams. It's still loose. It's still loose. Williams now covers it up. As the Barons are coming out of the corner, working out of their office and playing it back in onto our doorstep. And Williams chipped off the boards, gets to the point. They're trying to play it back across the house. They're met by Declan Spittle. Spittle trying to fight it off. Nunez will collect this one. He'll take the opportunity to use some extra real estate. He throws the brakes on behind his net. He'll reverse up, trying to play it to Pucciarera, but it's cut off by the Barons. They're trying to play it back out in front. It's fired in. Carr sticks aside, or Pacelli sticks to the side, stays with it, he collects it, he pushes it into the center seam to Pucciarera. Pucciarera's going to gain the line. He's going to throw it deep, and now we're going to look to get the forecheck on. Barons will win the puck behind their own net. Now they're going to try to stretch that ice. They're going to skate it out. They throw it out into the neutral zone. Mauer's there, good gap control, forcing them to play it in behind Williams' net, where Mauer will turn. He's got white ice in front of him as the Barons are in change. Throws it to Pucciarera. Pucciarera will turn. He'll get his toes up. Now he's going to play it to Pacelli. Pacelli's going to collect it. Fought off by the Barons at our line, but Pacelli recovers and collects. He's going to turn. He gets his eyes up. Plays it back forward. Gets out of the neutral zone where it's collected by the Barons. They chip it back forward into Spittle's feet, but the Barons will collect. They gain the line. They drive down the wall. Drag past one. Fought off by Spittle on the back check. Sticked out by Z-Man. Now Pacelli will collect it. It'll go off the glass. Trying to hit it Logan Pucciarera, who's now in a foot race. Trying to get to it, but interfered with a little bit. Unable to win that puck battle. The Barons collect it, push it out in the neutral zone where Fazio is going to collect it. He's going to go 85 feet the other way. Now we're going to use some extra real estate and reset. So moves it around the wall where Fazio will collect it, trying to step off that wall, but it's cut off by the Barons. Good support. They play it back out. It's read by PHC, and now we're going to move it the other way. We'll push it in, and now we pull up for a partial line change. So Fazio's trying to cut it off. They'll bring it back around. There's room as we're in a partial line change. They play it back forward, and Barons pull up for a change. So it's a 1-on-4 here. Outside, fired in, fought off by Williams. Nooner will step to this one, gets it back out into the neutral zone where the Barons will collect it. They go D to D, and now they're going to wheel it up the wall. They hit the 9 with numbers. Good challenge by Ethan Nunez, good stick. He's going to push it out in the neutral zone, trying to find a Fazio who leaks behind. He's going to get this one on the wall. He'll reverse up, throws it out in front, looking for Gerbevec, but it's sticked aside by the Barons, and now they'll play it deep around the wall. Winton steps to it, keeps it active at the hash marks. He puts it into the corner. Now Fazio will try to get back above this one, force him to play it ahead. Barons skated out in the neutral zone. Now they're getting the line. They'll put it deep and pull up for a line change. So PHC will collect this behind their own nets, try to get their toes up. They look far side, plays it to Gerbevec. Gerbevec collects it, trying to put it up the wall. Cut off by the Barons, and they push it back forward. Good challenge by Michael Winton. Fazio collects it. He gets in. He gains the line. He's going to get pushed outside the dots. He's on the floor, and he plays it back across. Stick the side by the Barons, and they reverse and come out the other way with it. Quick transition here. Now they're going to gain the red line. Mauer's there and contain. Good angle to that puck. Uses the body to win the puck. They try to come off the wall with it. Fazio will step to it. Pushes it back out in the neutral zone where the Barons will flip that ice and come in the other side. They'll dump it in. It's going to get into the far side where Mauer will collect. Mauer's going to collect. He's going to push it up the wall for Fazio. Fazio will collect it. He's going to chip off the boards out in the neutral zone where the Barons collect it and put it right back in. Whistle dead for the automatic offsides as there was a red bucket. About a half a step south of that blue line. So 6:39 left in this one, 4-4. Neutral zone faceoff just outside of PHC's line, right in front of their bench. Spittle ties up. We're trying to jump through that lane. Barons collect it to gain the line. Fight down the wall. Spittle will collect this one. Mauer there, picks a pocket, flips that ice to Sauer. Sauer chips it out in the neutral zone. The Barons will collect, will play it deep. Carr's going to step to it. But again, a half a stride south of that blue line was a red bucket. So, whistle dead for that offsides. We'll do the same thing from the opposite side. Dot just outside of PHC. Spittle wins this one to the sidewall. Carr will step to it. Pushes it up the wall where the Barons will collect it. They'll go D to D. Regroup, pushed up the wall, pushed back out into the center. And now they're going to hit the line. So fired in, kicked aside by Williams. Spittle will push this up the wall to Anunciuk. Anunciuk, realizing he had pressure on it, chips it off the wall, gets it out into the neutral zone. It's fired back across. Sadler's going to play this back across. It gets to the dots on the outside. Played back across, stick to side by PHC defenders. We'll push to this one. The Barons are collecting and working below our goal line. Playing in soft ice. Now Spittle will collect. He doesn't get good wood on it, but Carl will step to it in the corner. He's going to go off the glass. Gets up. It's kept in at the point. Played back in. Turns, fires. Blocker to side by Williams. Cars will step to this in the far corner. He's trying to get it to Anunciuk. Second effort, he pushes it to Anunciuk. Barons collect. They walk down the wall. They step it. Good stick by Deck and Spittle on the back deck. They play it back up the wall, trying to step off that wall down into the corner. They're trying to set up. You got a guy coming late into that PSA. They play it by Williams, so we're caught here with sustained pressure. It gets out in the neutral zone and played back in, so we'll take the offsides as we were running around a bit because of the sustained pressure. We'll have a neutral zone face-off. Able to change the lineup. Roach out between the money man and L-Dog. Roach trying to push it forward, but the Barons jump the lane. It's played ahead by Winton. Barons will collect at the red line, trying to come back down the wall with it. Pacelli sticks to the side momentarily. He'll put it up the wall, but Good fight by the Barons. They collected. They gained the line. Try to flip that ice. They drag past one. Back into a bunch of blue jerseys. Played ahead, gets out of the neutral zone where it'll look to regroup. They play it. It's read by Pacelli. Pacelli's getting the pressure on. Cuts this one off, looking for support. Barons getting it back out in the middle. Good step and challenge by Winton. But the Barons will collect. Winton will take a good path into the path of the puck carrier. Roach collects it, and now he gets his toes up. He's driving wide. He's going to get wide. He's looking for some support. Oh, backhander this one in. It's caught and hung on to by the Barons goalkeeper. As Roach didn't have the support he won it. Puts it towards the net. Barons goalkeeper hangs onto it, so we'll have an offensive zone draw to his left. Barons win it to the wall. They'll go behind their own net. Play it out to that far winger. Gets it out into the neutral zone. They'll go D to D. Carl will step to this and play it back in, but that's going to hit the netting. So we'll have neutral zone draw, center ice. So we'll go center ice face off for play out of puck out of play. So it's always played last, closest dot to the last play on the puck. So Rochi will line up for the center ice face-off. Wins this one, looking for Pucciarero. Barons jump through the lane. They collect it. They turn. They fire. It gets wide of Williams. Pacelli will collect this one. Pucciarero collects it as the puck bounced off the wall. He's met by a Baron at center ice. He's pushed up the wall. Pucciarero trying to fight through. Barons hold the blue line. They chip it back forward. Carr will collect onto his forehand. He'll throw it up the wall, where a puck battle ensues. Pucciarero collects this puck. He's going to gain the line. He's ridden off that puck. And now the Barons trying to catch our defensive pair interchange. They play it forward, but we close that gap. Keep it out in the neutral zone, allowing Roach to get there and back check support. Roach collects it. He'll play it to Maurer. Maurer collects, takes a look, finds Pacelli streaking up that far side. He finds Pucciarero on the center and plays it back to Pacelli. Pacelli chips down the wall. Bounced up the wall, poked back out in the neutral zone by the Barons. They're going to flip that ice, try to come the other way. Good poke check challenge at our blue line as Billy Maurer was surfing. Now he finds Pucciarero at the far blue line. Pucciarero will toe drag at the line. The Barons fight it off, and they're coming the other way. It's chipped back forward where we'll collect. They're going to go D to D. Maurer will have some white ice in front of him. He's looking to play it back to Pacelli. Pacelli plays it to Pucciarero. Now he'll play it deep and pull up for a change. But they're going to give us an icing, as they say. We did not have the red line. We were a stride or two short of that. So we'll go back down in the defensive zone. For a defensive zone draw to the right, Colton Williams. Spittle trying to win this from the corner. Hits the referee skates. Spittle will collect it on the zone. Chipped back forward. Spittle will win this one. Knocked down. There. Barons will collect. Will fire back across towards the front of the net. It's paddled aside by Colton Williams. We'll go out to the point. We're going to walk down the wall. We'll go back up to the point. Chip ahead. Spittle collects it. Pushes it to Fazio. Spittle plays it ahead in the southwest where Gerberbeck collects. Trying to drag through. He's tackled. Nothing called. But the Barons will collect the look to play it the other way. They flip it back into that center seam. And Gerberbeck putting the back check on. He leaves it for the point. Stepped in. Good stick. Good challenge by Michael Winton. Gerberbeck leaves it for Fazio. Fazio gains the red line. He tries to chip it back forward. Barons collect. We were in a defensive change again, so now we're playing east-west. They play it back out into the center. Turns, fires wide of Williams' net. Spittle will collect this one. Play it off the wall. Fazio. Fazio collects it. Trying to flip that ice. Will gain the red line. He gains the blue line. He turns. He fires off a shin pad. It gets wide of the Barons' net, and now the Barons will try to come up that same ball. They collect it. Take a look. They try to reset. They flip that ice. It's read by Sauer, but we were still inside the zone, but a good read, good anticipation by Lucas Sauer. As he jumped that lane, we were just caught below the offensive blue line. So whistle dead for the offsides. 1:07 left in this one. Roachy to take this draw with Spittle, Roach, and Baselli. Roach won't take the draw. Spittle will take it. Spittle wins it out wide. We were jumping through the middle seam. So the Barons will collect this one. They take a look. They're going to gain the red line. Cut off momentarily, but they step back down the wall. They step all the way around the net. They're going to walk it to the top of that house. They play it in the center. They turn to crank it. Warned by Declan Spittle, who now tries to flip that ice back to Roachy. Roachy's going to collect. Met by a white stick, but he strikes through him second time, trying to drag past. Surfed off by the Barons, but cut off by Declan Spittle. He's trying to walk off the wall, but he's on the backhand, trying to get back to the forehand. He's looking for support. He pins along the boards. Roach gets in there, but the Barons get there first. Baselli cuts it off, keeps it out behind the net. They put it up the half wall. It's played back out into the neutral zone where Maurer will collect. He's going to play it to Winton. Winton will go back to Maurer. Actually goes to Roach. Roach gets his toes up. He's going to drive. He's past one. He's got some white ice. He's got support with him. He flips it to Spittle. Spittle's on the slide. He turns and fires low. Fade off. Roach return. Point. Point. Shoot. 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 And the horn will sound at 4. So I don't know. Will they do an overtime? We'll have to see. Talking to the coach. Referee will go to the score. Trying to figure out if we play a 3v3. So they will end in 4-4 as the players gather for a handshake. Good, hard-fought effort on Friday morning. Had our opportunities, had our mistakes. We'll make some adjustments. And, hey, we'll see them again later this weekend. Enjoy your Fridays. We'll check back with you in the afternoon. Thanks for tuning in.